You can read them real quick with their body language, taking their photos.
For those of you that have undergone,
You can see them grinding their teeth.
I'm stressed, man.
You can see their eyes getting wider. Just fear takes them over.
We're used to having a week, 2 weeks of class periods to be able to do it, and we're thrown into a situation where it's 8 hours to make a full broadcast, including the big edit.
Hey STN, Chase Perotta. I have a story to tell you. It's Crazy Eights at Long Beach, Prompt as Express Yourself, and my team was 30 minutes away from the hotel in a park, sure that we were going to find a random person with an interesting story who'd be willing to talk to us.
Yeah, I guess we had a pretty stupid idea.
You are nuts, dude.
It turns out most people have an interesting story. It worked at the park in our hometown.
But you fail that day.
Yeah, so we get to the park in Long Beach and it was empty. We maybe saw like 2 people in an hour. I think there was this dude that was like fishing, and then there was this woman who was like feeding ducks, and we tried to talk to them and they didn't want to talk to us. At that point, I remember it just being so hopeless that I felt like just giving up.
The key to all of this is what you come away with it, which is basically how to deal with things when you win and how to deal with things when you lose, because that's life. You know, you can't win every time.
It's almost like taking a test. You know, like when you take a test and you're under pressure, like you're going with, I need to do whatever I can right now to do this right now because I don't have the time.
The park didn't work, Charter was right, and now we're 30 minutes away from the hotel. An hour we've already killed that we've done nothing.
You know, we invented this contest to push people, students, just to a certain point and then push them slightly farther.
And so every year I see students fail forward. And then every year I see students succeed stupendously. I mean, the drama is, which is it going to be?
So what did we do? We needed to improvise. We looked up art studios. The prompt was express yourself, and I was like, okay, well, people express themselves through art. Can't be too far of a stretch. And the first number we found was Robert Richert Art Studios.
Okay. When I heard later that you just went to a stranger's house, well, that scared the heck out of me. The journalist in me loves it. The chaperone hated it.
The STN gods, Sherry gods, you know, they worked with us that day, and we ended up going to his home.
Not enough blue in that sky. Hi, I'm Robert Richert. I'm a professional artist, have been since 1982. Wow. And I love painting landscapes and beautiful scenery. It's very simple with me. I love scenic beauty, and I love color, and I like making it happen. I like to say I saw a lot of ugly. I was in the infantry. I saw combat on several occasions. One day I was ordered to throw a grenade into a hole leading down into presumably a bunker. Later they brought out the bodies, and 3 of them were men, young men, but one was a boy, only 14. And I wasn't able to talk about that until 2013 when I went for intense therapy at the VA hospital. What I saw in Vietnam, the ugliness, I made a decision. I'm never going to do ugly art. I want to bring beauty into the world because it's part of my healing to do that. I don't do this because I want to be rich. I do it because it's just, I have to. It's like an addiction. I have to do it. I love it. I love painting. I love writing. I love expressing myself.
It always struck me that he totally didn't like I was doing the park, but for 6 months he never actually put his hand down and told us to stop doing it, which in retrospect he totally could have. I'm not sure if it was a mutual respect thing or if deep down he kind of believed in me.
And from the teacher point of view, you know, we're hands off. I tell my students, don't even look at me. But that's counterintuitive for a teacher because you're wired to help students, but to step back and watch them figure it out.
So many of these teachers have been told, you got to go run the AV program. They're English teachers or they're social study teachers. And so to support them so that they can then support the kids, so the kids can then tell stories that need to be told, that's what it's all about.
Our show won first place, and it's one of the most rewarding moments of my life. There are stories like this all over the convention, and my idea is to tell them, because they truly are what makes STN special. Because in those 8 hours, all of these students have the opportunity to make magic. And STN is magic.
This isn't like fake. This is real world. You have to get things done that day, at that time to get on air, you know? So this is not like pretend pressure. This is more realistic than anything. Making the deadline, you learn a ton. You also learn a ton for not making those deadlines.
It's life-changing. I always tell my students that they will never, ever, ever forget their time at STN.
I think.
High five, high five.
Yeah!
Who wants a high five on camera? High five on the camera. Good job, people. High five for everybody. Sherry, you look really cool.